All right, no, the court did find that Mr. Cantu was not the biological father of the child, Genesis Flores, and everything else in according to this pleading is going forward with Mr. Eli Flores and Ms. Ashley Cantu. But this time, I asked the state for an open to tell the court what the state's requesting we do here. I understand there is a temporary order on this matter that was from 2023, but this time I'll ask the state to tell the court what the state wishes to do today. Are you requesting further temporary orders? Are we asking for? Or are you requesting a final order at this time? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I don't know that a final order is gonna be the best thing in this matter. So I'm fine with doing a further temporary order, and I think that's going to be Ms. Farrer's request, and I have no objection to it. I'm requesting that the court order some child support in this case. The testimony, I believe, will be now that both of the children are living with the mother, and also ask the court to make a ruling as far as cash medical. I believe the testimony previously was that Mr. Flores had the children on his grant, although I think Ms. Cantu is going to testify that she's applied for health coverage, governmental health coverage under her name. So I don't know if that changes the analysis. I believe there will also be some, and then I could see the court, using various numbers on this matter. I believe Mr. Flores will tell the court that he was working as a machinist until it's not entirely clear, but until recently, he was making 19 an hour. And then I think there's also going to be some, but I don't think it was a full 40 hours a week. And then I think there's also going to be some testimony that he does food delivery with DoorDash and Grubhub. So I'm asking the court to order child support. I guess after the testimony, I'll have an argument as to what that should be. But I believe that Ms. Cantu will testify that she's not making ends meet, that she was looking at applying for government services and other assistance, and so I'm asking for child support to get set up for those reasons.
All right, and Ms. Farrer, you're the headliner for the children, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I'd like to have an opening statement at this time. What are you requesting in behalf of your clients, ma'am?
Your Honor, I believe the evidence is going to show that the children have been visiting with Dad every weekend or thereabouts. So I am requesting a temporary order to that effect. I did visit with the older of the two children. I did a home visit with her yesterday. The younger child, she's very young. And so I saw her and I saw mother's home, but I didn't interview her or anything because of her age. And so my understanding is that the parties are in agreement for father to have visitation with the children every Thursday night till Saturday at noon, and just on a temporary basis until we can come back on a final hearing. At the time of the temporary order or the agreement that we reached in February, the father was living in West Texas in Brownfield with the older of the two children. Thereafter, he did relocate to Bell County. The younger of the two children at the time of the last temporary order was living here in Bell County, and now both of the children are living with her.
All right, thank you very much. All right, folks, I don't let lay people make opening statements, only lawyers. But at the end of the hearing, if either of you want to make a closing statement or an argument, you'll be allowed to do so. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and ask both Mr. Flores and Mr. Cantu to raise your right hands. And ma'am, can you turn your video? Thank you. If you can.
It's not letting me turn it on.
Okay, never mind. Just raise your right hand. Do both of you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, you're both officially on the oath. I'm going to go ahead and let the state call your first witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I would invoke the rule, Your Honor. I believe there's some people who are present with Mr. Flores. I don't know if they're going to be witnesses or not, but if so, I would invoke the rule.
All right, Mr. Flores, are you going to call anybody as a witness today, man, sir, that's with you or in Zoom?
Not today. No witness today.
All right, is there a chance they're going to be a witness in the future, sir?
Yes.
All right, who are those parties, sir?
Say that again?
Who might be the witnesses that are present today, sir?
No, there's no witnesses present today.
I understand that, sir, but you said there's a chance they might. Here's the deal, sir. Anybody who's here today, if they're not, if the rule is not invoked, and they're not listening to the hearing to see what everyone else is saying, the court will not allow you to call them as a witness in the future. We don't want witnesses hearing testimony from other witnesses. That way, we get a fresh and honest eyewitness or information from them. If they listen to what the hearing is saying, everybody is saying, then the odds are they can adapt to what they've heard. So at this time, sir, who is present? And I just need to make sure I want to get their names down. And but next time around, you cannot call them as a witness if you unless they are what we call the rule with the rule invoked, be separated into a breakout room so they can't hear the hearing. So, sir, who are the people that are here? And I'll go ahead and note that they will not be testifying next time, sir. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that.
Yes, it's a lawyer thing, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want
yeah.
them to be able to testify next time, I need to put them in a separate room. If they're going to remain in here and listen, then I can't let them testify next time.
Okay, so right now, if I don't name a witness, I can't have a witness on the next hearing. I can't.
No, sir, that's not what I'm saying. Name the witness, and they're going to be technically they might be a witness next time. I'm going to have them removed from the courtroom and placed in a breakout room, or they can leave until the next time and not be in here today. But they cannot be in here to hear the testimony of you and Ms. Cantu at this time. So, is there anyone in this courtroom right now that may end up being a witness for you at the final hearing or the next hearing, sir?
Yes.
Who is that?
Cindy Munoz.
Anybody else?
No, not at the moment. So I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to name any further. I mean, something might change in the future, but yeah, again,
Right,
I think.
Where's Miss Munoz right now? Is she in the room with you?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Where is she right now? Is she here on her own individual window, or is she in the room with you right now?
No, sir. No, it's just me in the room.
All right. Then where's Miss Munoz right now?
I think she's in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Well, sir, as long as she does not in the room, that's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and. Is there anything else? I'm sorry. Again, sir, I'm going to go ahead and let the state call you both as witnesses, and we'll proceed at this point. So at this time, Mr. Downey, you may proceed. Thank you. I'm sorry. You've both been sworn in, so you may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call Ashley Cantu. Ma'am, will you state your full name, please?
Ashley Cantu.
All right, and I'll probably save a lot of the particulars for Ms. Farah, but can you maybe just tell the court briefly what you and Mr. Flores have been doing with regard to keeping the children?
Since March, when Miley came back to live with me, we've had an agreement where the children go with him Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It just works best that way because Mr. Flores is off on Fridays and Saturdays, so he's able to spend more time with the children.
Okay. And why did Miley come? Actually, I'll save that for Miss Farah. You said he's off on Saturday and Sunday.
Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, but we split the weekend, so I have time with the children also.
Okay. Has he told you about what he's doing work-wise?
I mean, I know he door dashes, and then I know he works at Texas Hydraulics because he said he got the girls' insurance from them.
Okay. Has he told you how long he's been with Texas Hydraulics?
I'm not sure how long he's been there.
Does he tell you what he's made there?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. Has he told you anything about leaving that position?
No.
Okay. Are you, so as you know, he was not ordered to pay child support originally. Have you been able to make ends meet without child support?
Wasn't able to work while I had Genesis just because I physically couldn't afford childcare. And my goal is to have her in childcare or in a daycare before the next school season starts in August. So that way I'm actually able to work full time and contribute to my other kids I have.
And I asked you a very jumbled question. It fair to say times are pretty tough for you right now?
Yes.
All right. Fair to say you need some child support?
Yes.
Okay. So because it's been a while since we've been in front of Judge, remind Judge what you do for a living.
I'm a substitute teacher with TISD.
Okay. And then you said that you were having issues being able to work. What were the issues?
It was childcare for Genesis, just being able to find someone that's able to watch her, and then having to get her into a daycare and pay the cost up front and the supply fees and stuff like that. Okay.
Since we were last in court, has Mr. Flores provided you any assistance with that?
Not so much with Genesis, but like for school stuff for Miley, for Miley's cheer, and things like that. When I've asked him for it, he's given it to me.
Okay. So you've not asked him if he'd be willing to help out with paying for daycare?
Yes, I have asked him. But then she didn't have, he said he was going to help and then just kind of never really got to it. And then she didn't have insurance. So I couldn't get her to the doctor to get her shots up to date and get the doctor to sign off on it. And then I asked, that's when I signed up for the Medicaid so that way I could get her seen and try to get her into it. And then it just never happened.
Okay, so and let's talk about the health coverage. So have you applied for coverage for both of the girls?
Yes, I did apply. I haven't heard anything back. It's just in the waiting period. But as that went through, Mr. Flores says that he already put the girls on his insurance.
Okay, has he provided you with an insurance card or other documentation?
No, I haven't gotten anything yet.
Okay. So probably the last question I'll be asking you. In the temporary order, the court reserved making a finding of non-disclosure, meaning whether or not addresses are going to be published. I would probably ask the court to continue to reserve that for the final. Is that acceptable to you?
That's fine.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Diamond. Your witness, Ms. Farah.
Okay. Now, Miley and Genesis, how long have they lived with you?
Genesis has lived with me since December of last year, and Miley has lived with me since the beginning of March of this year.
Okay. How did they come to live with you?
Mr. Flores brought them to me.
Okay. Prior to living with you, where were the girls living?
With Mr. Flores in Brownfield.
Okay. And Brownfield is out like West Texas, correct?
Yes, out by Lubbock.
Out by Lubbock. Okay. During the time that the children were living with Mr. Flores, were you sending him money to help him with the children?
No.
Okay. And what possession schedule has Mr. Flores had with the girls since they have come to live with you? Since, let's say, March.
He gets them. In March, I mean, it was kind of scattered here and there. But for the last, I'd say like 2 months, he gets them Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And occasionally when the power went out or the storm came, the children stayed with him for about longer until our power came back on.
Okay. And the neighborhood that you live in did sustain some pretty significant damage. I was at your home yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like that possession schedule with Mr. Flores having the girls Thursday night until Saturday about noon, do you feel like that's in the best interest of the girls?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns with the current residence that Mr. Flores has residing with Ms. Munoz?
No.
Pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, anything on redirect, Mr. Diamond?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead and call your next witness, ma'am. I'll be back in just a moment. Thank you.
Call Mr. Flores, sir. Will you state your full name, please?
Eli Flores.
Okay. So let's talk about the work situation. Are you still working with, is it Texas Hydraulics?
Yeah, I guess I'm still on the roster. I mean, I'm not going to work for them anymore. So, you know, it's just a matter of time till the termination is filed, you know.
Okay. And all right, we'll get into that in a minute. What were you making at Texas Hydraulics?
My last check was $480.
And that's a weekly paycheck?
Yeah.
What's the hourly rate that they pay you?
19.
All right, what would you say you were getting in the typical week as far as hours?
32.
Okay. Do they offer insurance to their employees?
They do.
And do you have your daughters covered on the insurance?
I mean, I do, but those benefits are going to end, being that I'm not going to work for them anymore.
Begging your pardon, Your Honor, I could ask more questions about the rate of the health insurance, but I could understand why the court might want to just order Ms. Cantu to continue applying for the government health coverage. So I don't want to waste the court's time.
I'm definitely doing that, but you can proceed with the rest of your question, and you can leave the health insurance alone and health insurance alone for now. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. All right. So you said termination, Mr. Flores. Have they moved to terminate you?
I can go up there tomorrow and tell them if I could try to get something on paper, something for termination.
All right. So has your employer made you aware of any movement against you as far as your employment?
We've been talking about it. They know that I was supposed to be here today. I've been missing some work for legal issues.
So there's been a conversation. You need to stop missing work, or you're not going to be here much longer.
Yes.
Okay. Have they given you anything in writing?
No, I'm not going back to work for them anymore. So I'm just trying to make that clear.
Okay.
Okay, here's the deal, sir. Mr. Flores, why are you not going back to work for them? If they haven't fired you, why are you not going back to work, sir? Just tell me. Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Sir, the fifth is this is a civil court of law. You can't plead the fifth, sir. If you don't want to answer me, that's fine, but I'm gonna hold it against you. Okay? This is not a criminal case, so you can't plead the fifth, sir. Why are you quitting your job? It sounds like you're quitting your job to me, sir. Why are you quitting? Are you quitting, and why are you quitting?
No, I'm not quitting. I got other sources of income. I got DoorDash. I got Grubhub. My kids come first, you know. So I'm gonna go to work according to my children's. I believe I should have my children's a little more. The terminology that was used, visitation. My kids live with me also. That's how I would.
Okay, well, that's again, sir. I know you're not a lawyer, and that's a legal determination that this court is going to make one way or the other. So at this point, again, why if there, again, we can give you an excuse to show that you are, in order to show that you were ordered to be in court today. You're telling the court at this point, you're voluntarily leaving this job to pursue your jobs with DoorDash and Grubhub and whatever delivery services you work for, sir. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've always been a DoorDash and Grubhub. That goes way back. This machining job that I got was only when I recently moved over here. But I mean, I really I shouldn't be working in a machine shop anymore. I mean, I should have stayed forward with my SSI case. I didn't. I'm just trying to work against the grain here with my physical capabilities. I should never been in that machine shop. I can't do that anymore. So there's that.
Right.
There's, you know,
you have something from a doctor says that you're physically unable to work at that job, or any any other job limitations you would have based on your ailment, sir. You have something from a physician that can state that, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was going to need it right here, but yes, it's there. It's in my my Scott and White, my chart. I mean, I've had a condition I was born with. I do have a condition, physical condition, a neuropathy.
All right, then I'm going to let the state proceed with your question at this time, Mr. Diamond. You may proceed.
I don't know that I have a whole lot more, Your Honor. I think I could ask about the SSI application, but beyond that, I don't know that I have much more.
Okay, sir. Last year, I got one, sir. Last year, where were you working up until you moved here to back to Bell County, Texas, or wherever you live in Texas? In the vicinity.
I was working DoorDash.
All right.
I was working DoorDash.
All right, and then when you were out in West Texas, were you working anywhere else in 2023?
No, sir. Only Brownfield, Texas, Lubbock, Texas, DoorDash, and Grubhub, and right, and that was it.
Did you get 1099s for 2023 from Grubhub and DoorDash, sir, in conformity with federal law? What kind of tax documents?
1099.
Yes, sir. Did you get 1099s for both those businesses for 2023?
Yes, I got one for DoorDash. I don't think I don't remember exactly, but I mean, Grubhub, I don't think I made. I was mainly doing DoorDash. DoorDash was my main source. I like to throw Grubhub in there because I'm just trying to be honest. I'm still a contractor for Grubhub. I just didn't make over $600. So it didn't warrant a 1099.
All right, then. But you do have your 1099 for Grubhub for last year, correct?
For DoorDash, yes.
For DoorDash, I'm sorry. And you didn't work for any other business in 2023 other than DoorDash. Is that what you're telling the court, sir?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. You did not work, or no? Again, that's a negative to my question.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there isn't any other businesses. I only did DoorDash, and I only did that according to how much it costed to take care of my baby, Genesis and Miley too, Miley and Genesis, but Genesis more expensive, being that she was a baby, All
right, then. Any other questions before you pass the witness, Mr. Diamond?
Yes. So you mentioned the Social Security Administration. Do you have an application in with them, Mr. Flores?
No, that's my next move.
Okay, is that then that'd be an appeal that you'd be pursuing?
No, I'm just gonna file again. I believe my time has exceeded the amount of time they give me to appeal the last decision.
Okay. All right, and I think you were starting to tell the court about this. What's the medical condition you're dealing with?
It's a nerve condition, Charcot-Marie tooth disease. It's a neuropathy condition.
Okay, and is that why you were only getting 32 hours as opposed to 40?
No, that 32 hours is because I got a video of it. It's slow. Business is slow. All of the above. I can't be working in a machine shop right now.
Well, what's the name of
They cut out
what's the name of the disorder again, sir?
Charcot-Marie Tooth disease. It stands for
Spell the Charcot. Can you spell that, please, sir?
Oh, it's CHARCOATE. And Marie is like the name Marie, MARIE, and tooth is like tooth, TOOTH. It's three doctors that founded the condition, and that's what they named it, Charcot-Marie Tooth.
All right, thank you. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Dunn.
I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Farrow, you're a witness.
Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Flores, you referenced some legal issues. Are you dealing with some legal issues that the court needs to be aware of?
No, I mean, SSI and my lawyer, like I need a lawyer. I should have had a lawyer here today. I was so close. I need a lawyer. So I got a lot to work on now, with the SSI and a lawyer. I need a lawyer for my next hearing. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any like criminal cases or anything pending, is that correct?
No, not at all.
Okay, when you said you were pleading the fifth, I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing that I wasn't aware of. So, okay.
No.
All right. And do you believe that it's in the best interest of your daughters for you to be able to see them every week on the schedule that you have had?
Absolutely, yes.
Pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, and any other questions of this witness, Mr. Diamond?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Flores, you say you got a 1099 last year from DoorDash, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have access to that, sir, at this time?
I don't have it handy. I'd have to look through my my emails. It's in there. I started. It's in my Star album. So, I'm sorry I don't have it. I didn't know I was gonna need it. Yeah, I didn't. I'm kind of blindsided by the income calculation today. I didn't see that coming. All
right then, sir. And but you do have access to the email, and you can get that for the court going forward, correct?
Correct.
All right, so you need to find that and get a copy to both Mr. Diamond and to Ms. Farrow for that purpose. And when's the last day you worked at your current job here in Bell County, or is it Bell County, whatever? When's the last time you worked at the metal shop at the metal shop?
It was yesterday. My mind is made up. That yesterday was my last day. Yeah, I've missed some work. And I don't want to do that to the company. Yeah, I should never went back to the machine shop. I knew that I didn't belong in there, with my situation, my health and whatnot. So yesterday was my last day.
All right, Mr. Diamond, any other questions of the witness?
No, just argument, Your Honor.
All right, hey, Mr. Farrow, any questions of either witness at this time?
No, sir.
All right, I'll tell you what, since I'm going to let the parties have the opportunity to respond to your closing statement, Mr. Diamond, I'll go ahead and let you go first, then let Ms. Farrow go, and then I'll let them make a response because they need to hear what you're requesting and why you're doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I really, the state would love to get child support and cash medical reimbursement, although I could understand holding off on the cash medical because I think the last time we checked, Mr. Flores, I think at one point had at least one of the girls on his grant. But I guess I would have to seek some guidance from the court about the baseline to use. Well, no, I guess I would submit to the court that
Okay,
32 by 19 would be the. So actually, I
Okay,
can
do you
give
have any
that.
data on his job with DoorDash? Do you have any of that information, sir?
I do, Your Honor, from Mr. Well, yeah, I tell you what, Your Honor, if the court wants me to recall Mr. Flores, I can, or I could just proffer what I was told the last time we met. It's probably cleaner if I recall.
Go ahead and call him. Go ahead and call him. Let's not use negotiated information. Go ahead and call him and clarify the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, recall Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores, let's talk about what you were making doing the food delivery. So the notes I have, and tell me if my notes are correct or not, but the notes I had from last time were you were making somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 a month doing the food delivery. Is that about ballpark?
Yeah, I mean that's what my goal is. I haven't made that over the last few months, but it's what I made over the last few months is average between 900 to 1,000. But I mean, at minimum, I have to make at least 1,200, 1,100 at the least.
Okay.
1,500.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. So if my numbers are high, then they're high. I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right. Anything on recross, Ms. Farah?
No, sir.
All right. We'll go with the closing statements at this time. Mr. Diamond, you're up first.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, my number, Your Honor, is 19 an hour by 32 hours by 4.3 weeks, which would be a gross monthly of $2,600, $14.40. And if I plug that in, Your Honor, this is really a sloppy hearing on my part. I believe there was prior testimony that Mr. Flores has 3 other children. So if the court can use that, I would ask that he be given credit for those 3 other children. If not, I guess I'd have to recall him again. All
right, we'll save it. I'll ask him when he's making his closing. Thank you.
I'm having issues with my system here, Your Honor.
Join the club.
May I address my colleagues, Your Honor?
Go right ahead.
So, if y'all. Well, I tell you, so if I can get somebody to pull up prep, my Texas is giving me trouble. So if somebody could pull up the prep screen and run the numbers, the medical support is going to be 0, 2 children in, 3 children out, and the gross is going to be $2,614.40. And I can repeat that if I need to.
$2,640.
1-4 and $2,614.40 is what I have.
Multifamily amount is $431.
Thank you, Ms. Hubbard.
Mr. Forrest, is that correct that you have 3 other children plus these 2? I saw you shaking your head, so I wanted to make sure we have the right numbers.
We're not recording right now, Ms. Farah.
No, I know, and that's why before we got off.
Yeah. I do have 3 other children. Yeah, I was just shaking my head at the income. I'm not going to be making that 2,000 or whatever.
I want my statements on the record, so I'll wait till I'm on the record. Thank you.
Did you ask a question, Your Honor?
Let's get back on the record. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, we're back on the record at this time. Mr. Diamond, you may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Anyway, Your Honor, I just asked one of my colleagues to run a calculation. She ran it, and I didn't write down the number. I believe $431 was her calculation, but I can verify that here in a minute. So that's what I would ask.
All right, Ms. Farah.
I'm sorry, 431 is my number, Your Honor. So that's what I'm requesting is the child support, at least until we finalize.
All right, Ms. Farah.
Yes, sir. I'm asking the court to keep the parents as joint managing conservators, give mom the exclusive right to designate on a temporary basis, have Mr. Flores have possession of the children on each Thursday. Right now, school's not in session. So, I mean, from the time school would ordinarily be released, so we can do 3 p.m. Until Saturday at noon each weekend. And with exchanges, I believe the parents have been exchanging at Ms. Cantu's home. And so I do not have an objection to that remaining as the exchange point. And on the issue of child support, I leave it to the discretion of the court.
All right, Ms. Cantu. Anything you want to tell the court in closing, ma'am, based on what you've heard from the two lawyers? You're muted, ma'am.
I don't have anything else to add to it.
All right. All right, Mr. Flores, you're up, sir. Anything else you want to tell the court?
I just wanted to make sure that, on this Thursday, and 2 more days that I get, the children as far as we've been agreeing to. That's it. And if there's any way I can get paperwork or print it up, I just wanted to ask if I could do that, if I'm allowed to do that. Documents.
Sorry, sir. What are you asking for as far as paperwork? You're asking for something other than the court order granting what the court's going to order at this time?
I'm asking that, according to our, our agreement, what days that I get them, that's on paperwork somewhere I can get.
It will be. It will be, sir. Well, what I rule on will be in the paperwork, sir. Was there anything else you want to add about the child support? Anything else, sir?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, that's it. It's child support things beyond my control. I don't have anything. That's everything. Thank you.
All right, then. So Flores, here's the deal, sir. You're going to need to get the court a copy of something that shows that you are unable to work or cannot work based on your ailment. And you'll need to get that paperwork from a physician and with the physician's information I'll have the Ms. Farah send over an authorization to allow her to review your medical records for that purpose, okay? So we can get around the HIPAA provisions. This deal, sir, Mr. Flores, any time somebody comes to court and tells me that the last day they're going to work is yesterday, the judge, I'm sorry, I've been a lawyer for 40 years, and day 2 as a lawyer, that would have set out sirens all over my head, not 40 years later, that's just not the way it works, so. You have the absolute right, sir, to work where you want to do what you want, but to come in and tell me you have to start yesterday, you're not going to work there anymore, not good. It's not. It tells me that this may be a calculated move on your part. It may not be, but again, sir, it smells of the high heavens. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and name the parties joint management conservators. I'm going to give mom the right to reside domicile. I'm keeping that right restricted to Bell and contiguous counties for the temporary temporary orders. I mean, well, whatever county you live in now at this time, and any county that touches that county until further order. I'm going to go ahead and give Mr. Flores the opportunity to get us his medical information, give him an opportunity to get the income information going forward. At this time, I'm not going to order any cash medical. I'll order mom to go ahead and see about getting government benefits. And then when we come back, we'll deal with that. But right now, the guideline child support is set at, it looks like it would be at 431. I'm going to give Mr. Flores a break, and I'm going to order child support at $331 on a temporary basis. And that child support is to start the first day of July. I'm going to go ahead and grant the visitation package as requested by the ad litem. If I remember correctly, Ms. Farah, that is from Thursday evenings till 12 noon on Saturday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's for every week going forward. So in other words, sir, you get them every weekend, well, Thursday through Saturday, and that way mom gets some time with them on the weekend also. Anyway, that's going to be the court's temporary order at this time. I'm going to go ahead and ask how far out you're going to request that the reset be on this one, Mr. Diamond. 60 days, 90 days, what are we looking at?
Your Honor, I would defer to Ms. Farah because obviously what she's dealing with is probably weightier.
I was going to ask you. All right, Ms. Farah, I know we're dealing with time restraints on you being able to be in that item. How far out can I push this one before we come back in and give Mr. Flores the opportunity to get his medical information and his work? I'm sorry, his 1099s.
I mean, I would think 60 days is reasonable, Your Honor. And so, I mean, I can do whenever the court feels is appropriate, but I think if Mr. Flores can get us the documentation within 60 days, that would be helpful.
All right, folks, I'm going to look at a special setting for you guys next time. I'm going to go, I'll start looking in August for a date that corresponds with what Ms. Farah can do. When y'all show up and you'll be the only hearing I have. I'm going to set this aside I'm going to set this up for at least an hour and a half to 2 hour hearing on that date, and you're the only case I'll have at that time. Again, the circumstances will warrant that. Mr. Flores, it's left up to you where you want to work, sir. But again, and I can hold that for you. I can hold that against you. But you need, if you're saying you can't work because of medical circumstances, you need to get Ms. Farah that information, plus give her an authorization to review your medical information and be able to talk to your docs. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, folks, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and go with the temp. I'll see everybody. It's going to be in August. And again, I'm going to give you all at least 30 to 45 days advance notice so you can work around any jobs or information. It'll be before school starts, Ms. Cantu, so it won't interfere with your substitute teaching job. So I'll definitely make it before then. And we'll come back in and we'll see what we have. But again, next time you come into court, you're going to be the only case I have for that 1.5 hour, 2 hour time frame. All right.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. The state's going to prepare an order, sir, and ma'am. They'll have all this information in it. This is what you'll use. Y'all can agree to anything you want, but failing agreement, you got to fall back on the specifics of the order. And like the state said, the exchanges are going to take place at your address, ma'am. Pick up and drop off by dad. All right.
Okay.
All right. See everybody when it's really going to be hot outside. And at this time, anything else, Mr. Diamond?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, we're off the record, guys, and I'll see y'all in August. And Ms. Farah, I'll have Belinda send you over some dates that are available and times, and we'll see about working those into your schedule, work schedule, and vacation schedule for you and the boys. Okay, because I know y'all got to go somewhere this summer. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We're off the record. So at this time, I'll ask the state for an open and tell the court what the state's requesting we do here today, whether or not you're requesting this to be a final order or further temp. And then I'll ask the ad litem for the same thing, to tell the court what she's requesting we do here today and whether or not she's requesting this to be a final or she's asking for further orders and coming back at a later date. So at this time, I'll start with the lawyers and we'll take it from there. At the end of the day's hearing, if either party wishes to make a closing statement or closing argument, they will be allowed to do so as their own legal representative. Anyway, at this time, I'll ask you to go ahead and start this one off then, Mr. Diamond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So state would love a final order if the court finds that's appropriate. Defer to the ad litem as far as conservatorship, possession, access, geographic restrictions or not. Asking the court to use the current findings for income. If the court will recall the last time around, there's a dispute about Mr. Flores' work. I believe that Mr. Flores indicated to the court he was working at a machine shop but did not want to continue doing so. But I'm asking the court to find that whether he's working there or not, that's the income that he's capable of making. Unless he's able to produce some evidence that he's been accepted to receive disability. I think he testified to the court he was going to apply for it, but I don't think there was any finding of disability. So I may have to revise that if he's able to provide such evidence. I'll ask the custodial if she believes retro is appropriate, and I guess I'll go from there. My guess is for the retro, I would probably ask the court to calculate retro based off of the between $1,200 and $1,500 a month that he was making previously doing DoorDash and Grubhub. And then the state's going to request non-disclosure. I don't know if the parties want it or not, but the court ordered non-disclosure for both parties, the last order. And if nothing else, out of an abundance of caution, I'd ask the court to continue that. I think that the evidence, the testimony will be that both, that each knows where the other one lives, but I would love them both to have the opportunity to move if that would make them safer.
It's fair.
Apologize, Your Honor. I didn't realize I was muted. Your Honor, I had the opportunity to meet with the girls twice in person, once prior to the preceding hearing to this one, and once about 2 weeks ago. The younger of the two children is too young to really express her wishes, but I did speak with the older child. She is happy, healthy, doing well at school with her mom. She did not express any concerns with dad. She wants to see her dad. She misses her dad. My understanding is that Mr. Flores has returned to the Brownwood area in the last couple months. That's what was told to me. If that's not the case, then that's not the case. I don't have any issues with regard to him having a standard possession order. And I leave the child support issue at the discretion of the court. The children did express some concerns. Well, the older of the two children expressed concerns with regard to Mr. Flores's temper, but only in the sense of like yelling and throwing like laundry, but nothing that rises to a level of violence where I was concerned for the safety of the children. So if the court were to order him to take an anger management class, I feel like that would be beneficial, but I don't have a problem with him having an SPO.
All right, at this time, Mr. Flores, Ms. Cantu, please both raise your right hands. Ms. Cantu, I know you're still having trouble with your video, so just unmute yourselves and we'll go with that, ma'am. Okay, now you got video now. Okay.
Got it worked out.
All right, both please raise your right hands, please. Both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you.
I do.
Yes, I do.
All right, you're both under oath. I'm going to let the state call you as witnesses. Obviously, the ad litem will get a chance to cross-examine. And like I said, at the end of the hearing, if either of you wish to tell the court some additional information that you think is pertinent to what we're doing here today, they'll allow you to do so. But at this time, I'll go ahead and let the state call you as witnesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call Ms. Cantu. Ma'am, will you state your full name, please?
Ashley Cantu.
All right, so let's talk about some things. Do you know? Are you still living? You still living in Bell County?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if Mr. Flores is?
I believe he's not, but he's no longer in Bell County.
Okay. What's that belief based on?
He spoke with my oldest daughter.
No. Let's not get into what he told your daughter. Has he told you anything?
No.
Okay. Have you seen messages that he sent?
Stating that he was no longer in Bell County?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What did those messages say?
The last messages stated that he was in San Antonio with a family member.
Okay. Did the message state why he moved to San Antonio?
No, he never. He was just there with family, getting things together. I suppose that's what he just kind of left it really vague.
Okay. Uh, all right. So let's talk about the retroactive support. So typically the state will ask for retroactive child support. Some folks call it back child support. Um, do you have any objection to me asking for that?
No, I mean, I just literally just need help with childcare.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm asking is this: you have every right. Well, you have every right for the court to consider the retroactive support.
Okay.
So if you're telling the court that you don't want that, then that's certainly your right to not want that. But that's what I'm asking. I'm going to ask for it unless you give me a good reason not to.
No, that's fine with me.
Okay, so remind me and possibly the court when you and Mr. Flores separated.
It was September of 2022.
All right. And that's by separate. I mean, y'all were no longer living together.
That's correct.
Okay. So between October 1 of 2022 and I'm sorry, I got to go look and see when did we never get this order entered? Begging your pardon, Your Honor. We were before the court more recently than February, and there was another order that was entered, and I'm not seeing it on my system.
The February order had one of the children living with Mr. Flores and one living with Miss Cantu, and then we came back at the end of the school year when both of the children went to go live with Miss Cantu. I think that was in May. Let me see.
That sounds right. All right. Well, my notes state that the new obligation was supposed to start July the 1st. So that's what I'm going to go off, Ms. Fair, unless you have any objection.
No objection.
So Ms. Cantu, between November 1, 2022 and June 30, 2024, what financial support has Mr. Flores provided?
I received Genesis December 14th of 2023 is when I got her back from Mr. Flores, and then I got Miley March of 2024.
I'm sorry, say again. You got Genesis back on what day?
December 14th of 2023.
Okay. All right, and then say again when you got Miley back.
I got Miley back. I believe it was like the 13th of March in 2024.
All right. Well, all right. So remind me from when to when did they both go to live with him?
It was a whole dispute where the police had gotten called for an argument, and he had taken off with the children and then ended up taking off to Brownfield with them. That's why there was such a gap of me not having my children.
Right. But so if I recall, Genesis was born April of 2022. You're saying
Yes.
y'all separate. So, but y'all separated September of 2022. Is that when he took off with the children?
Yes, she was like 5-6 months old then.
Okay. So sounds like he would not have provided you any support before either of the children came back. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So between when Genesis came back December the 14th and June the 30th of 2024, what support has he provided you?
None. I mean, he would just get the kids on the weekends when he was able to before he moved to Killeen. But I mean, as for support, I haven't gotten anything.
Okay. So never paid a light bill, never put gas in your tank?
No.
Never bought groceries?
No.
Okay. Well, let's talk about safety issues. And do you have any safety concerns with Mr. Flores knowing where you live?
No.
Okay.
He's
I will,
not allowed on my property. I have him criminal trespass from the property.
okay. And you feel like that's enough to keep you safe?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
May I proceed, Your Honor? I think you're muted, Your Honor.
Yeah, I turned that off. Yeah, I'm trying to wait for a phone call from a district judge. But anyway, yes, I'm sorry, I said it's your witness. Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir. Now, Ms. Cantu, how old are Miley and Genesis?
Genesis is 2 and Miley is 7.
Okay. And they're doing well, they're happy and healthy?
Yes.
Okay. You brought them into my office not last week, the week before, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you have any concerns with their safety when they are with Mr. Flores?
No, not when they're with Mr. Flores. I guess the issue was just with, I guess, him and the ex-girlfriends arguing was basically Miley's biggest concern is they're arguing. But I think it was more of a relationship issue more than it was just her father.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, the children have always been taken care of, fed, safe, etc. when they're with Mr. Flores. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And do you know how what Mr. Flores is doing for work right now?
I do not know.
Okay. Is there anything else about the safety of the girls or the possession schedule that you want the court to know?
No, just that we just need to make a schedule that's actually able to fit everybody's schedule, because the one that we have now clearly is not going to fit everybody's, busy schedule that they have going on. We'll just have to figure something that works out best for the kids' schedule and also Mr. Flores' schedule.
Is there anything about the children's schedule that would make a standard possession order not work?
Just the one that we have now doesn't work just because Miley has cheer. So it'd have to be just the weekend visitations would be the only thing it would work right now.
Okay, here's the problem, Ms. Cantu. He's entitled to a standard possession order as far as his visitation rights with the children. If she's got something special that's outside the norm, like regular school, that sort of thing, that may be problematic. But Dad's entitled to have his own standard visitation, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No. So, but anyway, yes, yeah, we're getting ready. I'll let the state, Ms. Farah get into that, but because he's now lives more than 100 miles away, it's a different visitation package going forward. So I'll let her go with you in just a moment. Thank you.
Okay.
When is the last time that Mr. Flores saw the girls?
I think it was the middle of July.
Okay. Has he been speaking to them over the phone since then?
He spoke with Miley, I think it was last week. But other than that, they might occasionally text here and there.
All right. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anything on redirect, Mr. Diamond?
Nothing, Your Honor. And I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm in a borrowed office. I'm not used to these accommodations.
You still down in Aggieland?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yes, sir.
All right, then. I'll go ahead and let you call your next witness, please.
Call Eli Flores. Sir, will you state your full name, please?
Eli Flores.
Okay. Let's talk about work. What are you doing for work these days?
I'm unemployed.
Okay. So there was some testimony that you moved to San Antonio. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm temporarily staying in San Antonio because of some hardship, financial hardship.
Yes, sir. So how long do you intend to reside in San Antonio?
Not long. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to figure out how do I get back, trying to figure out how do I get back closer to my kids. But I only came to San Antonio because of some chain of events that transpired. Back
Okay.
when I was living in Bell County.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry to hear it. So, you said financial hardship. What, you have a car breakdown in you, or what was going on?
Yeah, that's one. That's one problem. But my thing is just uh you know, so I was raising my girls. I don't know how to put it, but it's a long story, right? But I mean, I was living in Bell County. I only went to live with Bell County so that way I can share. So that way my girls had mom and dad close by and we can share the girls. But when we couldn't, it was evident that we couldn't share them. Like I didn't see my girls for Father's Day. They were kept.
Mr. Flores, I'm sorry, here's the deal. We need to get back on track here. Right now, there's a question of what the circumstances are, or why you no longer live in Bell County, or why you are unemployed, sir. So we don't want to go afield of that. So I'll let Mr. Diamond repeat the last question, and then you need to answer that. And if there's something you need to add at the end of this testimony, I'll let you. But for right now, I think you missed the question entirely that was being asked. Thank you.
All right. So the question was financial hardships. So there's the car issues was one of them, and you said there were several. So can you list out the other ones, please, sir?
Yeah, I wasn't able to keep my job to pay for the rental house that I had moved into. So
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the job in the machine shop. So previously, you'd indicated to the court that you're contemplating leaving that job. Is that what ended up happening?
Yeah. No, I can't work that kind of work anymore. I have a physical disability, and that's the end of that. I can't work that kind of work anymore. I can't even pass a physical. Like I kind of lied to get that job. I lied. I basically lied to get that job. I avoided a physical. Can't pass a physical. I'm physically incapable of passing a physical because of my neuropathy condition.
Okay. And have you applied for Social Security disability?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's just a grueling, long process, So, yeah, and that's why I'm here in San Antonio, because I have family here that are willing to support me.
Okay. Have you ever been found to be disabled by the Social Security Administration?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, yeah, I was found to be disabled. I just didn't go through with the process, which led to a denial the first time. This is my second time around applying. So the first time I didn't follow through. I didn't do what I was supposed to. They wanted me to prove something on some kind of paper of what kind of income I made in the month of August and September. I never went and got that. So I never did what they wanted me to do. So that's why they denied me. I didn't turn some kind of paper in or something like that. But yeah, I figured I could just make ends meet. Just door dashing here and there. Yeah, I'm always gonna be able to DoorDash, but I gotta actually have a reliable vehicle also on top of that to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm just
Okay. So, and I think that the testimony, or at least the court found the last time around that, at least at your job at the machine shop, $2,614.40 was approximately the gross income. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I did that. I worked at that machine shop for a month and a half, and yeah, on average, that's what I made.
Okay. Let's
Sir, what
talk
job
about.
before that job, what was the last full-time job that you had, sir? Not door dashing.
That would be August 30th of 2022. I was working at a machine shop, and when I actually raised my girls from September of 2022 all the way up until early 2024 by myself. Nobody helped me. She didn't help me. She didn't pay nothing to help me.
Stop. That's not the question. See, you go on the field on this once again. All right. So you worked at a machine shop in 2022. When did you leave that machine shop in 2022?
August 30th, 2022.
All right. And what did you do between that machine shop job and the last one you had that wasn't door dashing? Do you ever have any other jobs? Do you have any other means of income?
Yeah, I worked at Domino's Pizza for like, I don't know, probably 2 months.
And when did you work at Domino's?
Which Domino's?
When? What time frame, sir?
August of 2023 to September of 2023.
And why'd you leave Domino's?
I broke my ankle. I'm on the job delivering pizza. So yeah, I don't know. That all goes back to my condition, my neuropathy condition. I have trouble working, I tried everything, but yeah, I'm physically incapable of working. So that's why I left Domino's. I haven't went back to work since.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Diamond. Still your witness.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. And so also, not shaking my head at the court, Your Honor, or Mr. Flores. Getting a message from Ms. Walker. I think you had also testified to the court that doing DoorDash, you were making about $1,500 a month. Is that correct? On a previous occasion?
That was my quota, and yeah, that's on the high side. I don't make that. I can pull some monthly statements if y'all need me to.
Actually, I'm sorry, I have notes. Between 1,200 and 1,500 was what it was. Is that?
That's what I said before. Yes.
Yes, sir. All right. So, all right. If the court wants to use your DoorDash income, which I'm going to argue for something differently, but if that's what the court goes with, could we call it $1,350 for the gross income? That's halfway between 1,200 and 1,500.
I don't make that money. I don't make that no more. But I mean, the state of Texas is going to do it, right? I mean,
no, the state of Texas is going to do what the court
money.
orders.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would like for the judge to know that I don't make that money no more. I'm incapable of making any kind of money until I get, my disability SSI. I will get it. I will get it eventually. It's just a long, slow process, but I can do a little bit of work, here and there, but I'm still, I have a neuropathy condition. Either kind of work I do, I'm affected by my condition. So,
okay. So let me move on to some other, let's talk about from when Genesis went back with mom on December the 14th. Well, first of all, do you agree with that date?
Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay, so between December the 14th of 2023 and the end of June of this year. Have you provided mom any financial support?
Yeah.
What have you given her?
I mean, it's on my Cash App history. I have to look, but I don't know. I've probably given her, I want to say close to 1,000, not 1,000, probably a little under 1,000. I don't know. I'll say $600 to $700. I could be wrong though. I have to look.
And all those payments were through Cash App, you say?
Yeah. Cash App.
Okay. Do you have any safety issues with the mom knowing where you live?
You have a question, Mr. Flores?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes, you heard the question, or yes, you have safety issues with mom knowing where you live?
Yeah, I heard the question. I mean, no.
Okay.
No, I don't have any safety.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Ms. Farrer, your witness.
Yes, sir. So let me see here. How often are you able to visit with the girls now that you're kind of in this transitional point?
I don't know. I want to say, yeah, they got school on. I mean, I don't know. I want to say maybe 2 weekends a month.
Okay. So if you had a standard possession order over 100 miles where you got them, or you could either pick any one weekend a month from the time school is dismissed until the time school resumes, or to pick or to have the first, third, and fifth weekends of the month. Is that doable for you?
Yeah, it is. It is doable for me, more now than like when I first left. Yeah, it's doable.
Okay. And do you know how much longer you're going to be in San Antonio?
Yeah, I want to say 2 more months. I want to say only a month, but I'm trying to be realistic.
Sure. And
yeah, 2 months.
okay. And after leaving San Antonio, do you know where you're going to end up going, or will that just depend?
Yeah, I'm going back to Temple. I gotta get close to my kids. Yeah, so I gotta be in Temple, before I lived in Killeen. It seemed so far away still in Bell County. It still wasn't close enough. So.
Okay. All right. Do you have any concerns with regard to your daughter's safety, or their upbringing when they're with Miss Cantu?
Yeah, I've always had that concern in the back of my head,
Can you specifically, tell us what concern you have, sir?
Drug use.
By whom?
Her and the guy that she's with. So that's why I left. That's why I originally left back in September 2022, because of abuse.
Okay. And this is not something that the issue of drug use is not something that you've brought to my attention previously, correct?
Yeah, I brought it to your attention. Yeah, and in June, February, earlier this year, and in June.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought it up.
Okay. So are you asking for you and Miss Cantu to both submit to drug testing?
Yes, please.
All right. And do you have an objection to taking an anger management course, even if it's online now that you're not working?
I God, I do have an objection that I don't have an anger problem. Yeah, so I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever, but that's fine with me. I'll do whatever I got to do. I just want to see my kids, you know.
Sure. All right. And you've never, at this point, I mean, there are no CPS investigations or anything along those lines. Is that correct?
No, right now, not that I know of on her part. No.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, I have nothing further.
Just a second. Judge is looking something up. Sorry. So which part of San Antonio do you live in? North, south, east, west?
South. That's a good question.
Okay. All right then, folks. I'll start with you, since you just finished up, Mr. Flores. Is there anything else? Ms. Farrar, are you going to go ahead and request the court to order a drug test of both parties at this time, ma'am? I'm sorry, you muted, Ms. Farrar.
Are you talking to me?
I'm sorry about that. No. I'm sorry about that. I would ask the court to order the parties to submit to a drug test, and also that Mr. Flores complete an anger management course.
All right then, folks. We get the allegations. We're going to clear them up. So I'm definitely looking at what the ad litem is requesting me to do. So obviously this doesn't sound like it's going to be the end of this long saga, but yeah, I'm looking at ordering a drug test, and I'm probably going to use any lab tests now. Ma'am, which city you live in? You muted, ma'am.
Simple.
Okay. All right, I know any lab taps now is out in Harker Heights, but they had those in Harker Heights. They had one, that's the one in Bell County, and they had 4 of them in San Antonio. So I'm thinking we can get this done very, very rapidly. I'm looking at going ahead and ordering the father to do the anger management online. And Mr. Flores, until you show the court something or able to produce evidence, I've got to order you to at least pay child support based on the fact that you haven't been found disabled. And under Texas law, if you're not disabled, you should be able to work at least 40 hours a week at minimum wage. So I am looking at doing a court order, sir. And my understanding is these are the only 2 children you have, or do you have other children?
Yeah, I have other children.
How many other children do you have, sir?
I got 3 more. 5
How many
total.
Okay, any of them live with you?
No, none of them live with me. Right now.
Are you currently on child support for any of the 3?
Nope.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Cantu, you weren't the witness, and he's saying it is, you say he's not. So and where do those 3 children live, sir? Mr. Flores, where do they live?
I think he has bad reception.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry to jump in like this. My agency and me have dropped a ball here. There was another temporary order that made these wage findings, and that had these 2 children in and 3 children out. So that was the court's prior finding, and I'm sorry that for whatever reason that order never got entered. But that was what the court ordered, and I'll make sure that order gets entered sometime next week.
All right then, but again, I'm probably looking at okay, yeah, he's gone. I'll wait for him to come back in. Oh, he might still be back there in the background somewhere. Sometimes that happens with Zoom. There he is. Mr. Flores, go ahead and turn off your video, sir. Maybe that'll help with the signal.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe if I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, it might not intercept my.
Drop the video, sir. Just drop the video.
Sorry, say that again.
Stop your video. Turn off your video for your reception. Yeah, stop that. That was okay there. That might help with the bandwidth that your problems that you're having.
Okay.
All right. So before I get down this path too far, let me go ahead and listen to closing statements that everybody wants. Again, I'll start with you, Mr. Flores. You already said that you wanted drug testing. You said you didn't want to take anger management. But I am going to order that. What else are you asking the court to do here today, sir?
Communication. I want to be able to talk to my dog. I want to be able to see them. I never took that away from her. So before, I want to be able to talk to them. Is there any way I can get that? I go so long without seeing them.
What else, sir?
I just want that.
I can take care of that. What else, please?
I mean, that's just it. That's it. I just want to be able to talk to them. Communication and
I'll have to. I'd like to confirm. Right now, well, he was local, so I didn't have to do telephonic setups before this. So and that's not currently in the current order. Is that correct, Ms. Farah?
That is my understanding, sir, because at the time they were both living in Bell County.
Yeah. So I never do that when they live in the same county or even within 60, 70 miles of each other. I don't do it. All right, then. Thank you. Ms. Cantu, your turn, ma'am. What do you ask the court to do here today, ma'am?
I mean, anything that's in the best interest of my kids. I mean, of course, they want to see their father, but then the order that we had, of course, we use the app to communicate, and it clearly doesn't work very well because it's constantly a verbal argument toward Mr. Flores towards me all the time. So communication isn't very easy with him. Trying to find a scheduled time for him to see the girls. I'm very flexible, and of course, I want my children to see both parents. But then he plays victim, and I have that all in the court. And I've also spoke with Ms. Farah about the issue that I have too. It's easy to communicate with the best interest of the kids, but when you get your feelings involved and this and that, it makes it very difficult to get along and meet so that way he's able to see the kids, and then lies and say that I keep the kids from him and then post it all over social media.
Well, I'm getting ready to go ahead and do some further temporary orders, and I'm going to do very specific. And it's up to Mr. Flores. It's up to you to do the times and the places as per the order. And you got to use app close. I don't care if you don't want to use it. You got to use it. And if you don't use it, then you're not entitled to get your visitation, sir. So going forward, keeping that in mind, app close is what you you use to communicate with Ms. Cantu. And I'm going to make part of the order with you. If you're going to do your weekend visitation, or if you're going to do it the 1 week or 2 weekends a month, you got to let her know ahead of time that you're coming down to pick up the children and the time you will arrive. Because let's face it, I-35 on the weekends is crazy. So it's from San Antonio to Temple. It's taking me as little as 2.5 hours. As little as 2 hours and as long as 5. So yeah, it happens. So God, it happens. But anyway, but yeah, going forward, that's definitely going to be the case because I got no other way. I got no place else to go with that kind of circuit, those things. I want to be able to have everything confirmed, and everything can be confirmed through app close. But we'll get to that. And so at this time, I'll go ahead and ask the state. Obviously, Mr. Diamond, I'm looking at going ahead and doing a temporary order. I'm looking at changing this child support to minimum wage presumption until we get something else on this gentleman. And because I'm thinking, and minimum wage is still somewhere around that $1,600 mark. So yeah, it is what it is. But that's what the law requires me to do. And based on the court going ahead and looking at modifying the child support to something as far as minimum wage presumption, reserving the retro until we try to finalize this thing, giving Mr. Flores, and I'm just going to give him a standard long distance package where he gets to pick 1 weekend a month for visitation. And he's got to let mom know at least 7 days in advance which weekend he's going to. I'm sorry. He's got to let her know by within the first. Let's do this because it's already the first of the month now. So no, he has to let her. He has to let her know with 7 days in advance which Friday or Saturday he's going to come down and try to pick the girls up for his visitation. Okay. Because if he's going to come down the third Friday of the month, he's got to let her know about the second Friday. He's going to come down the second Friday. She's got to let her know only before the first Friday, where she can make arrangements. Because, like I said, they'll give her a whole week to get everything set up and situated. And he's also going to have to let her know that not only a week ahead of time he's coming, but when he has left San Antonio, on his way to pick the children up, he has to let her know also through app close that he's on his way. So I'm going to put that in the court order. But with that in mind, sir, what else is the state asking me to do here today, sir? I'm talking to Mr. Diamond now. Sorry.
Your Honor, so the state requested non-disclosure. I don't know that the evidence supports that. Did the court want to revise the ruling on non-disclosure? I mean, not that I'm really in favor of that, but I don't know how I can continue to ask for that based on the evidence. So I don't know if the court wanted to revise that ruling.
I think both of them said they don't need it, so I'm looking at not ordering it. But she's got a trespass against him, so that's not good. So, but a trespass order. But for right now, I'm gonna leave it where it is, Mr. Diamond. We'll save that for final to make sure these folks are still getting along when we come back to finalize this thing. But for right now, I'm gonna leave it in there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, what else are you gonna ask me to do here, Mr. Diamond?
No, nothing further, Your Honor. And again, I'm sorry about that order, and I'll find out what's wrong and get it fixed.
Okay. All right, Ms. Farrer, I'm looking at going ahead and, like I said, order the test. I was going to use any lab test now. They got locations in, I'm not sure if they got one in Temple. I know they got one in Harker Heights. That's not that bad of a drive, Ms. Cantu. They have a lot better restaurants in Harker Heights than they do in Temple. But the bottom line is, I'll let you set those up and I'll pay for it, ma'am. And you can use any lab in one of the locations in San Antonio. I think he said he's close to the south, and it looks like there's 2 or 3. They look like there are 3 or 4 on the north side. Just get the one closest to the south side as you can. And Mr. Flores, you'll have to do that testing there. And it's the hair follicle test. So they'll be taking hair, and we're doing the panel test based on that. And I'll do that for both of you. I'm gonna do that on both of you and Miss Cantu. And those things usually take a little less than a month, so we can probably try to get this thing wrapped up sometime in either late September or early October. So, Miss Farrer, what else are you asking we do here today, ma'am?
That's all, Your Honor.
All right. Another thing I will go ahead and add that Dad, on those weekends, the weekends that he does not have visitation with the children, he's allowed to visit with the children through the app close FaceTime function that's on app close at 6 p.m. on Sundays. I always just do it at 6 p.m. on Sundays because usually everything's winding down and it's not quite bedtime. So people usually through for the day, and so I usually go ahead and set that at 6 p.m. on Sundays, even though the next day is a school day. That day is not, so it usually makes it a lot easier. So every Sunday, sir, you get to visit with your children on app close from 6 p.m. to I'll say 6 to 7, but I doubt you can keep a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old entertained long enough to keep them on the phone an whole hour. But but as long as they stay on there with you, we're good. Okay.
Okay. So you're saying the communication would be only on Sundays?
Yes, sir. Going forward for right now. You make those Sundays, you show that it's working, and I'll see if there's going to be something else. Because, sir, we're in school year, and I don't like trying to do this on school nights when kids got homework and other functions. So for right now, it's once a week on Sunday, sir.
Okay.
And if going forward, if that worked out well, then I can always do it. I can do it both Saturdays and Sundays. But again, I don't like messing with school nights. It becomes problematic. So, all right then, folks. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and that's what I'm looking at doing. As far as the visitation, sir, you got to you get to pick any. The long distance visitation for people who are more than 100 miles away is they get 1 weekend a month. That's the norm. And you can pick any weekend a month you want, but it's got to start on the first, third, fourth Friday of the month. And you've got to let mom know a week ahead of time which one you're going to do. So if you're coming down from on the first Friday of the month going forward, then you let her know a week ahead of that time. If you're coming down on the second, you've got to let her know about the first Friday. If you're coming down on the third Friday, you got to let her know about the second Friday. But you've got to let her know a week in advance that you're going to come down and get the kids. And when you're on your way down to pick up your kids, you let her know. And now, since you're coming in from San Antonio, the norm is 6 p.m. on Friday to 6 p.m. on Sunday. But I always tell parents when we're dealing with I-35 on Friday nights, kids need to be well, traffic jams shouldn't be too crazy, but they can be. But whenever as long as they tell you they're on their way at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever, and they're gonna get, as long as they tell you they're on their way, then you plan appropriately